Date confirmed, 18th of February 2050.
Grace.
Yeah? Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's me.
Right. How long have you been up? It's early.
It's not early. It's 9:30.
Early for you.
Maybe. I've been awake for a while. Thought I'd get something done.
Well, found anything interesting down there? I can't imagine where you'd even start with it all.
I suppose you know most of the stuff, don't you?
In brief, I suppose.
Well, it started with the year I was born. There was a certificate of good conduct awarded to my dad from some City Hall department dated then, so I figured it was at least something to work from.
I see. And that's gone well?
Well might not be the right word for it, but I have found confirmation of employment for both of them. There was also a short audio file of an interview, I think with something about Green Line Initiative, and their names appeared there too, which is something I'll have to look deeper into.
The Green Line? If you're going down that route, there's some personnel records in 2054, if I remember right.
You know what it is?
Only in the vaguest terms. There's not much on it here, even that record is partially redacted, and this places the collection of nearly everything the Canaries know. It was a string of recruitments to a range of municipal branches in the 50s, though if there's anything more to it, we don't have all the pieces to know.
That's not necessarily weird though. Do you have data on employee numbers before then?
No further back than 2049, unfortunately. They're incredibly difficult to find. Maybe because I got banned from the records department at the library when I was 16, and the next time I went, the collection had been removed for maintenance and never came back.
I knew there was supposed to be something on those shelves. How'd you get banned from the records department anyway?
Spilt tea all over a folder of old birth certificates, and then ran.
Actually?
Sadly, yes. Shot myself in the foot there. It was probably only a matter of time before they realised the school project didn't require that much time spent copying records.
And exactly how much of this stuff is a result of the records department then?
In here, all of the stuff we have pre-2050, and the entire top drawer of most of the years before 65.
That's a lot of work.
You can imagine what kind of childhood I had.
Top drawers of population data, you said?
Mostly rather dry, if I do say so. Don't bother with them.
I'll keep that in mind.
Alright, I'll leave you to it then.
Thanks. What was I doing? Oh, date confirmed, 18th February 2050. Record of a year of good conduct awarded to James Lynton.
No unusual discoloration around the wound. No signs of infection so far. You don't feel ill otherwise?
Nope.
That's a good sign, at least. I don't think it's useful to keep you any longer, if you need to be somewhere.
Thanks again for all this, Lexis. Not sure what I'd have done otherwise.
You're just lucky I take my job as seriously as I do.
I am.
I would like to at least check up on you while it heals, though. And your dressing will need to be changed regularly.
Thought you were a scientist, not a doctor.
I'm in biology, technically, and you're not in a position to question my qualifications.
I guess I'm not dead yet.
No, you're not. And I'll need to see you every day for a few weeks.
Am I really that charming?
I can visit you at your home if you tell me where you live. Would that be better?
I can't really tell you that.
Hello?
Lexis Newport?
That's me. Wait. Richmond, is that you?
It is. Look, I got your message the other day. I'm coming to the north later. I think we should meet.
You're what?
I've got errands to run your side of the park. I'll be in the area.
Maybe while you're here, you'll see why I keep telling you that something needs to be done about the lack of medical facilities.
I'm not having this argument with you now. I'm offering you the information you asked for, but if you're so fixated on your do-good mission up there, then perhaps you won't have time for me.
You don't get to act like that. Fine. I'll meet with you. Anywhere particular?
The old courtyard?
All right. I'll be there at 2.
See you then.
Avery? Gone. Wonderful.
You're done researching?
Taking a break, because I jammed the reader. That thing is so fragile. You try to get one data card out of it with your pen and it acts like it's the end of the world.
That was your solution?
It was stuck. What else was I supposed to do?
Not do that for one. I'll take a look later.
That's probably better than whatever I could do to it.
Clearly.
Got a really bad headache too. You were right about the top drawer. Won't make that mistake again.
You were just so incredibly bored by the population data that you broke the machine. Is that it?
Exactly.
Painkillers are in the top right of the cabinet if you need them. Just don't take the ones with the square cap.
Oh, thanks. Just a second then.
Alright. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Doctor,
Lexis, you're looking, well.
how are things down with you?
We're not on different planets, Lexis. There's no need to act like it.
And yet you still ignore much of the city north of the park, so we might as well be. The hospital is doing well, I assume.
As well as ever. Staff shortages never go away.
They'd never accept me there, and you know it.
Arrangements can be made.
Every time I speak to you, it's the same thing. I have no interest in your arrangements. And now we can stop pretending like this is a social call.
I suppose. After your call, I, admittedly skeptically, browsed the incoming patient listings. Last night I found a profile similar to what you were asking after, so I thought I'd let you know.
Does anyone else know you've done this?
No,
And the patient?
I only have a name and an address.
This is definitely some sort of ethical breach.
So now you're going to go all high and mighty about doctor-patient confidentiality?
That was never... Fine. But only because I can assure you it's for the best.
I'm sure it is.
What's got me curious is why now, of all times, you pull through on something I've asked of you.
Well, it's far less drastic than any of your other suggestions about reform in Mallingate's medical practices. And now I'm owed a favour.
I see. What could I ever do for you that couldn't be done a different way?
Nothing, as of yet. And the favour isn't for me necessarily. It's not important right now.
I get the feeling it will be, though.
Ever perceptive.
I'll be seeing you, then.
I doubt it, but I do hope that whatever you need that for is actually worthwhile.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Hello? Yes, it's me. I just met her. No problems, no. She was just fine. Did you want to hear what she... No. Then why on earth did you ask me to record it? Ugh, fine. I'll see you later.
Anybody in?
I'm through here.
Hi, Marwin.
It's good to have you back.
I was only gone for a day.
We were concerned all the same. Last time you disappeared like that, I had every right to be worried.
I guess. Where's Grace?
Looking through the music in the booth.
Right.
Did you bring any food back?
I didn't have that much time for shopping, but I got dinner.
Good. And the rest of your day?
More eventful than I've had in a while. The scientist I met. Her name is Lexis. She helped me out at the site of the explosion when I near enough got my arm burnt off.
You what?
She had medical stuff at her apartment. It's fine now.
For God's sake, Avery.
She said I was free to go. I'm feeling better. Anyway, I had to make up for being out of action yesterday, so I helped out around town, did some deliveries for the market while I asked around.
Any trouble?
Not really. Quiet even with what happened yesterday. I did see Sonia on the high street.
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't with anyone, but she looked fine enough.
You didn't talk to her?
No. I don't think she'd remember me if I did.
She's not the kind of person to forget like that. Ugh, Grace is right. This thing is stupidly temperamental.
You need any help there?
It'd be much easier if... Is this light on?
Yes.
Alright. If you could just hold this so I can slot a new cover in. There we are.
I thought you just fixed this.
It didn't need fixing before, just dusting off it. Grace had trouble with it this morning.
She okay?
I think so. Ask her yourself. I was thinking, though.
You were?
I wondered if you'd take her with you. She's not destined for radio. Not like this, at least.
This isn't because she's rooting around in your files, is it?
Of course not. It just seems cruel to keep her here when she'd rather not present.
I'll have to connect her to all my contacts. It won't work otherwise, and that itself is risky.
I know.
So you know it isn't worth it.
What else am I supposed to do? I can't tell her to leave now.
Keep her here.
I don't want her to get more involved than she already is. I knew what I was getting into. Pretty soon she's going to be trapped, and she doesn't even understand what the trap is.
I didn't really know. Remember?
That's not fair.
To me, maybe. Look, I get that you're going to say this is different, but it just sounds like you don't trust her.
Just ask.
I'll leave your report here by the lamp.
Thank you.
I thought you didn't use this recorder anymore.
What? Oh, Grace must be using it for her research.
All right, I'm going to get some sleep. Food will be on the table.
I'll let her know. Were our Canaries alive? It's the 13th of September 2070, 11 a.m, with the daily report on the status of the city. Residents are urged to refrain from using the official postal services under any circumstances after burning documents were found at the back of the post office on Weaver Row last night. Those which were able to be salvaged by a local, who was on their way home when they noticed smoke, were clearly marked as outgoing correspondence, though all had been opened and much of the contents removed. It is the suspicion here that the service is failing to deliver any material it deems of interest to the City Hall and burning any evidence of wayward activities. Malingate, this is not acceptable. You do not need yet another aspect of City Hall bearing down on your lives, and so we again urge you not to send any potentially critical information through the Malingate Postal Service. A community alternative is being explored if you wish to help. We'll have more information later on in the week. An influx of patients exhibiting a high fever have been noted at the South Row Hospital. One doctor has said that this is highly unusual but likely just flu, so the public should not be alarmed. Regardless, protection of vulnerable people like the elderly should be a priority as we approach winter. Plans have been announced by the City Planning Committee to make use of the large empty lot at the end of 2nd High Street by building another shopping centre on the site. This seems to be with the aim of reducing business to the nearby open-air market, putting much of the community at risk, especially those who rely on the market's unsold food scheme. There has been a murder on Glasshouse Street, reported in the early hours of this morning. The victim, 32-year-old Arnie Williams, was stabbed 3 times in an alleyway on Park Avenue late last night. The police department say they have launched an investigation, but statements from the chief in the East Park region imply that they think the murder is gang-related. Finally, the rest of the city appears to have no reported incidents. This is Wire Canaries, ending our broadcast for the night. Stay safe, Malingate. Wire Canaries is a monthly amateur podcast written, performed and edited by 4 college students from the east of England. Listen to episodes on most major podcast services and find us on social media at wirecanariespodcast for more information about the show. If you enjoyed it, please consider rating us. And, lastly, special thanks to our guest voice this episode, Lucy Yardy, as Richmond.